In this video, we're going to cover 3 important rules regarding the behavior of light. These are important because as photographers, we can use these rules to achieve the type of lighting we want, including the look of soft light. Rule number 1. Light travels in straight lines. Now, a light source is going to send rays of light in all different directions, but each individual ray of light is on its own straight path. A ray of light will continue to travel on a straight path until it's deflected onto another straight path. Rule number 2. A subject receives less light as the light source is moved farther away. Now think about it this way. Light rays are coming out of the source at many different angles, and as they keep moving out, they're spreading farther and farther apart. An object close to the light source is going to receive a lot of those rays, but if that object is farther away, fewer rays are going to be on a direct path to strike it. That means less illumination. The inverse square law says that as the distance between the light source and the subject doubles, the amount of light reaching the subject is reduced by 75%. So double the distance and you'll get only a quarter of the original amount of light on your subject. Light continues to drop off rapidly with further increases in distance. Rule number 3. The larger the light source relative to your subject, the softer the light. Rays from a large light source simply have more access to areas around a three-dimensional object, like your subject's head. In this example, you can see how there is a direct path from areas on the front of the softbox to areas on the side of the subject. But why is there a decreasing amount of light as it makes its way around the subject? Well, rule number 2 says that we're going to get different intensities of light where there are varying distances from subject to the light source. And along with that, you can see that while the front areas of the subject are receiving light rays from the entire front panel of the light source, the side areas only receive partial lighting. So in effect, part of the light source is creating shadows on the subject, and part of it fills in those shadows. Put that all together, and you get a nice gradual light drop-off and a soft-looking light pattern. Other ways to create softer light include using reflectors, secondary light sources, and bounce techniques. And these can all be thought of as ways to create a larger light source relative to your subject. Okay, remember that rule number 3 states that the larger the light source relative to your subject, the softer the light. That means that the actual size of the light source isn't what's most important. It's the relative size, meaning how big the light source appears in comparison to the subject. A little flash unit is made into a larger light source when used in a softbox. And a softbox can be a large light source at a close distance to your subject, but it becomes a smaller source of light relative to your subject as it moves away. Smaller light sources relative to your subject produce more contrast and harder light because they don't have access to areas around the subject the same way they would if they were much closer to the subject.